Good morning, everyone.
Can you see the agenda on your screen?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Morning, Russ.
Good morning.
morning, Thor.
Good morning, Maya.
How are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. The sun is shining, so I'm okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
Morning.
Maya, just let me know when you think we should start.
All right. I guess we can give it another minute. What I would like to mention is that per recent amendments to the Open Meeting Act, we are required to do a roll call with everybody stating that they are calling remotely and the city or village where they are calling from. So Russ, once we start the meeting, if you can kind of initiate that, that'll be great.
All right.
We'll give it one more minute and then we'll start. We do usually have a couple people joining in right at 10 o'clock or right after.
Hey, Jen, is this your last meeting?
It is
Yeah. When's your date?
March 31st.
Well, congrats.
Thanks.
We are all jealous.
Maya, last year you were able to give me some JobNet reports that I was able to upload to the trams for our grant. Can you do the same this year?
Sure. Regarding your transit projects, I'll be able to do that right after the April meeting because I need to, once we get approval from policy, I need to put those dates in the JobNet, and that's when I'll be able to produce the report that you want with the project showing
Okay.
with all the changes there. Is that acceptable? Because I think our meeting is April 6th. So literally on April 6th, I'll be able to get you what you need.
Okay.
Because if I produce that report right now, the changes are not showing yet.
Well, do you think it's time we can start, Maya?
Absolutely, go ahead.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. And according to Maya, we have to state our name and where we're calling from, like physically or?
Physically, yes. We just need the name of a place. We don't need your exact address, but this is according to the recent changes to the Open Meeting Act. So,
All right.
so obviously, everybody, this is a virtual meeting. Everybody's calling remotely. We will include that in a meeting minutes, but we do need to also include the place where everybody is calling from.
You want
Russ,
to?
I'll do a roll call.
We need to do a roll call.
Russ Inman,
Russ Inman here, Sanford, Michigan.
Jay Rifle,
Jay Rifle here in Saginaw, Michigan.
Mitch Huber,
Mitch Huber here, College Park, Maryland.
Was not expecting that. Thank you, Mitch. Jan Jurgens,
Jan Jurgens, Midland, Michigan.
Gary Rogers,
Here, Midland, Michigan.
Eric Sprague, Maria Sando, Mike Wood, Kevin Ray, Jim Lillo, Dan Armentrout,
Present, Saginaw, Michigan.
Thor Brecht,
Here, calling in from Larkin Township.
Shane Bjork,
Here, Midland, Michigan.
thank you all very much.
All right, Maya, do you have any changes to the agenda?
No changes to the agenda.
All right, and we can move on then to approval of January 20th, 2021 minutes. Do we have a motion on the table to approve them?
Jan Jurgens, I move to approve the minutes as written.
Rethel, support.
All right, it's been supported. Is there any discussion? Do you guys want to take a roll call vote then, Maya? Or how do you want to do that?
I think we're okay if you ask if there are any nays, right?
Okay. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. That motion carries. All right, come to reports of officers. Who wants to start on that? Shane, you want to start? That's us, right, Maya?
Yep.
Yeah, I can start. So yeah, we're gearing up for construction on our Saginaw Road, Dartmouth to Patrick project, which is going to happen this summer. And then we're also in the midst of design on our Sugnet Road extension project, which is slated for construction next spring, 2022.
Dan, do you have it?
Sorry, it's struggling to unmute. We wrapping up the paperwork on a roundabout from last year, and we've started design on our 2023 Freeland Road project.
Jan, do you have any reports?
Not really.
All right. Gary?
Nothing really at this time.
All right. Am I missing anybody, Maya?
With the MDOT ones.
Yes, I'm not.
I don't have anything on the planning side, but I'll defer to Kim. Kim Hill's joined us.
No, we're just got a few things in design right now. We're doing the US 10BR at Wackerly Design, partnering with the city on that for some additional turn lanes there. And we're working to get our consultant under contract for our M20, the one from M30 to Curry Parkway, the mill and two course project on that. So nothing new.
Mentioned the M30 bridge is open.
Yes, our M30 bridge is open. So it was good.
Let's say a hallelujah on that one.
All right. And for Midland County Road Commission, we've turned in everything for our Poseyville project this year. We went through all the hoops and hopefully they'll obligate it. We've been trying to get it to be obligated and just everything's been approved. So we're just hoping to hear a letting date soon. All right, we'll go down now, proceed to agency reports. Maya?
All right. Just to let you have a quick update. We've been very busy over the past 2 months, working on several items, long-range planning, tip changes. We have submitted an amendment per your approvals two months ago and policy approval 2 months ago. That has gone through and has been approved by the feds. We have completed the NMT plan, and it is up for your review and approval later on the agenda. We have held a pre-UWP meeting regarding our fiscal year 2022 program, and I am working on preparing that UWP report that is due to MDOT by June 1st. And also we are working on the MTPA conference planning. It is going to happen this year in July 21st and 22nd. It was going to happen last year and unfortunately got postponed. It is not going to be in-person conference. We are working on have it as a virtual conference. So unfortunately, we will not be able to showcase Midland, but it is what it is. We can't control COVID. And regarding just one more note regarding Open Meeting Act, the statewide emergency is expiring at the end of March. Thankfully, though, County of Midland enacted resolution yesterday to extend regarding a local state of emergency, which is in place as of yesterday and going into at least May 4th. So therefore, we can continue to have our meetings in a virtual format at least until May 4th, and we will do so. So the meetings will continue as they have been going over the last few months in the virtual way. The only change that we need to do, as we enacted this morning, is we need to have a roll call with everybody stating that where they are calling from.
Sounds good. I think that'll probably affect us here at the Road Commission too then.
I think so, yes.
All right, so we'll go on to unfinished and new business. Matt's tip amendment.
Yes, and it's fairly straightforward. We basically have two projects that are bridge capital preventive maintenance projects. One is at Gordonville Road at 4 3/4 mile road, and the other one is at Freeland Road at 9 Mile Road. So those are the two bridge projects. And then we have six projects pertaining to DART, to their changes regarding their capital transit improvements. Basically, in a nutshell, is the DART has adjusted their program as to when they will be replacing some of the buses, and we're reflecting that. Some of the buses had to be, replacement of some of those buses had to be pushed back a year, and that's what we are changing in those projects.
Okay, so this is an action item. Do we have a motion to approve the tip amendment?
Move to approve.
All right, and do we have a second?
Here, second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. The motion carries.
I can't really read this.
Mm-hmm.
Is the copier in there?
Yes, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the copy. If you look at the last line, it says
Really, if you could see it from our perspective, it's very small.
yeah, we did send out all that information.
Yeah, when I looked, I couldn't find it. All I could get was the agenda.
Oh, did you download the entire contents of a link?
Well, perhaps I did not.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But everything is there, and the copier is included in that on that last in the last item line item.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Maya, you want to continue with the GPA threshold?
The second portion of the tip amendment is the GPA threshold approval. The two bridge projects, CPA bridge project that you have just approved, they inputting them into JobNet created a GPA for them, and that's within year 2023, and the threshold of the GPA is $434,000, reflecting the total cost of those two bridge projects, and that this is what needs to be approved by you and recommended to policy to be approved.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the GPA threshold?
Move to approve the GPA threshold.
Do we have a second? I'll second it. It's been moved and seconded. All those in, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? Nay. The motion has been approved. Matt's urban program STUL and HIP funding.
All right, there we go. There, perfect. Thanks, Brian, for making it a little bit larger. Perfect. So recently, the project selection committee met to look over the STUL urban program and also determine what to do with additional funding that has been allocated throughout the state and that MATS is part of, and that pertains to the HIP funding, which is Highway Improvement Program. We have received some COVID relief funding. So all in total, we have received just shy of $450,000 of this additional HIP funding. So all the implementing agencies have met and have looked over the program and have determined how to adjust the program to incorporate the requested changes regarding the STUL funds and also how to incorporate the HIP funds. And as you see, basically right in front of you, this is what has been recommended. Basically, the HIP funding has been split between fiscal years 22 and 23 between Sagnet Road project and the Eastman Road project, and with majority of it funding going towards Sagnet Road and the remainder going towards Eastman Road. And then what also has happened, the fiscal year 2023 program has been adjusted. The Jefferson Road project and Midland Road project are no longer part of the fiscal year 23 program. Eastman Road is now part of it program, and that was per request of the implementing agencies. Also, what has been determined is other projects that will be funded through years 24, 25, and 26. We did not have that before. So basically, we're kind of looking into the future and determining how MATS allocation will be utilized through years 2026. Obviously, this is subject of approval for you and for the policy, and it can be adjusted, down the road if a need arises, if a project need to be adjusted or moved as agencies see fit. But this is basically what is proposed at this time. Also, what is proposed is that City of Midland has requested flexibility of substituting a different project if local funds are available to construct Jefferson Road project earlier. Right now, the Jefferson Road project is set to utilize MAT funds in year 2025, but City of Midland is requesting flexibility of replacing that project with another one if they can locally fund Jefferson Road project earlier. One more recommendation by the project selection board was to allow all these projects in front of you to be funded via a pro rata way as opposed to a cap way, which is what has been normally done for MATs over the past few years. So going with a pro rata way. Why is it's because MATs over the last few years has accumulated a substantial carryover balance, and the only way to be able to use that carryover balance is if our program is pro rata. So there it is.
All right, and this is an action item then, Maya?
Yes, it is.
All right. So do we have and I'm losing my mind right here. Do we have a motion to approve the MATS Urban Program STL and HIP funding projects as presented?
Make that motion.
All right, do we have a second? I'll second. Is there any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. And on to the MDOT call for projects.
Wait a second, Brian, if you can scroll down on that page a little bit. I think we need a recommendation to policy to be able to have those projects run as pro rata, to change our program to pro rata.
Okay, do we have a motion to recommend to policy the switching of these projects to pro rata?
I'll make the motion to switch projects to pro rata.
All right, do we have a second? I'll second
I'll
it.
second.
All right, Jen, you got it. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
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 And then the last item was approval of a recommendation for City of Midland to have a flexibility to switch the project without having to come back and go through the entire project selection and technical. Basically, we are just looking to retain that, to be able to retain that MATS allocation towards a City of Midland project.
That's included in the first one, or do we need a separate one for that too?
I think we probably need a separate one, because what you have approved in a first action was the projects as shown, right? So that's just showing a Jefferson Road project there. But so I think we need a separate action regarding flexibility of switching the Jefferson Road project to another project.
I'll make that motion.
Awesome. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All of those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, motion passes. Oh, any opposed? Motion passes. All right. And moving on to MDOT call for projects.
This is just an informational item. I have forwarded various emails from MDOT to all the implementing agencies. I just wanted to make sure that everybody is aware that there have been several call for projects regarding various federal funding sources. So I just want to make sure nobody missed one of them. So there has been a call for projects regarding fiscal year 2023 safety projects through either HSIP or HRRR funding. There has been a call for projects regarding fiscal year 2023 TEDF category F projects, and there has been a call for projects regarding fiscal year 2024 local bridge projects. And obviously all those there have to be applications put in from the local agencies if they would like to utilize that funding.
Excellent. Moving on, non-motorized planning. NMT plan.
Yeah, so we included in the packet there what we believe is the final draft of the non-motorized transportation plan, which I've put up in front of you here. We went through a number of steps here towards the end, put out call for projects and spent some time with each implementing agency discussing their potential future projects, which those are included in the plan. Added a number of maps that more clearly show the existing non-motorized situation, as well as the proposed future plans, as well as the combination of the two, so you can see the relationship between what exists and what we've got as proposed additions to that. We also made note of the fact that there are several regional connections that then would become part of the network, and those regional connections would be useful with regard to the Great Lakes Bay Regional Trail network, as well as the Iron Bell statewide trail network. So all those things are in the plan right now, and so we think it's pretty complete as is. I know though, as we go on, there will always be more changes, both proposed and implemented by everyone as time goes on, and at some point we'll re-update this plan. But so right now we're just asking for your review and approval and recommendation on this.
I would like to make a comment on this too. I think Brian has done an excellent job putting this together. I feel that the project lists are much more readable than when I started looking at the old plan. They're all together rather than being spread out in various tables. And the maps that Russ put together are a strong benefit, helping to understand what is actually being proposed here. So as an MMT representative, I feel very good about this document. There, as Brian mentioned, there are a couple, there are always things to be added down the road. And there were a couple late suggestions made that I think we'll look at for the next plan in 5 years from now.
Russ, we can't hear you. No, Russ, we still can't hear you.
I have to hit the button, don't I? Do we have a motion to approve the final draft of the NMT plan?
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right.
Who made that second? Could I ask, please?
Kim Heisler.
Thank you, Kim.
All right. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All right. All those in favor signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion has passed. All right. Complete street forms.
All right, so, and this is, I apologize, this is on a couple different pages here, and I can't quite get them all in one view if you want it to be readable, but basically, as part of Matt's complete street policy, every project that goes into the TIP and that ultimately gets approved on TIP amendments needs to go through a complete streets review, which is largely a product of our NMT representative, Thor. Thor takes a look at these projects, sometimes consults with the implementing agencies, and then we have a conversation and we put them into this table. And the real gist of this here is, of the projects that you see presented before you here, almost all of them simply require, because they're just not related, they require an exemption. So the two that do not, and it's simpler for me to explain it this way, the two that do not are project number 212097. That's because it is entirely an NMT project. And then project number 210348, which is the construction of a new through and right turn lane at US 10 in Wackerly, and there'll be sidewalks there. The rest of these projects, as I indicated, just require an exemption to be approved. Thor, if you have any comments, or please add them if you want.
Yeah, I would say that, as Brian mentioned, I do take a look at each one. And in the past, sometimes I've actually driven out through the areas. Lately, I've been taking a route through Google Maps and driving them that way. Sometimes that gives you some interesting results when you're driving along M20 on Google Maps, going counter to the traffic in the lane on the wrong side of the road. It gives you a strange feel. But if you, I would say, you can get any of these to me sooner is better than later. And also on some of these, if there's anything that I can help along the way with, any questions or so, I appreciate being kept in the loop.
Thank you, Thor.
So these are our action item then?
Yes.
All right. Do we have a motion to recommend, well, to approve the complete street forms?
I'll move.
Do we have sorry.
I'll support.
Moved and supported. Any further discussion? All those who approve signify by aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passed.
And
Matt,
I'll specifically in the minutes clarify that that means exemptions for all the projects except the two that have NMT characteristics identified here on this form.
okay. Matt's long-range plan.
All right. Katie, if you wouldn't mind providing a brief update regarding the Great Lakes Bay Region model, we would very much appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have been working on the base year calibration, including all of the SE data and network changes that you all went through. We met with all three MPOs a week or so ago. We're just making some more refinements from there. We're going to send some more files to Maya and Brian this week. And once we have the base year in a good place, Maya and Brian have already provided us the future year projects. So we're coding those to the 2025, 2035, 2045 networks. And then we will be running the model with the future year SE data that you more recently approved. So that's all to get some information for the long range plan that will be done by the end of this summer, early fall.
Perfect. And what you have in front of you is a list of the capacity projects that will be modeled. We have derived this list in cooperation with the implementing agencies. If you think of any other capacity projects that you would like to model, please let us know as soon as possible. But as of right now, what you have in front of you is what we are going to model.
All right. Any other questions on this? All right, we'll move on to performance measures.
Yes, per kind of recent clarifications, what we are required to do is we are required to acknowledge the receipt of 2021 State of Good Repair targets from both MDOT and DART. We have received both of them. And we also need to acknowledge the receipt of a public transit agency safety plan and safety targets that from DART, which we have received. The same is not required of County Connection of Midland, which is a rural agency, and there are different requirements that pertain to the urban transit agencies and the rural agencies. So we have received all the needed reports and targets, and we would like the action would be to acknowledge the receipt. If any, we have not included them in our link, but if anybody would like to see those targets from MDOT or DART, we will be happy to provide them. Basically, what's happening at this moment, we just need to acknowledge the receipt of those targets, and we don't need to derive MATS targets up until we are almost complete with our long range plan or with our TIP. So in a year's time, or if the federal dates are sooner, we will be deriving those targets, but we do not need to do it at this moment.
Okay, do we have a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the targets?
So moved.
Have a second?
Or
All in favor of supporting or approving the acknowledgement of receipt of targets, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries. So we'll move along to public comments.
And there are no, as far as I can tell, on our Facebook page, there are no comments and no public.
Hey, Jim, I see you got your hand up.
Yeah, sorry for being I'm sorry for being late. I had another Zoom meeting that ran over. So did the call for projects that we talked about get forwarded to the policy?
Yes, it was approved at this level.
Okay, just curious because that naturally came in one late. So just curious. Thank you.
Yep. Any other comments? Guess we could.
It's Jay and MDOT. I forgot to mention that we are applying for an infra grant, Infrastructure Rebuilding America grant for Indian and Buttles. So I think our total amount on that for the reconstruct is 40 million. We're asking for 23 million. So I'll keep everyone posted. Hopefully we get some good news back on that one.
Well, yeah.
What's a time frame for that if you are applying for that rebuild grant? Does it move that project back a little bit?
No, it shouldn't. No. That's a pretty quick turnaround. We'll hear from them. So again, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, this is Kim Hill from MDOT. As of right now, we don't have construction funding set aside for that yet. So this would help us actually move that forward a little bit and secure that funding and get a better time frame in place.
Well, that'll be great. Yeah.
All right, is there any other business to come before the committee? Hearing none, we can move for adjournment. So,
So moved.
awesome. Do we have to approve this, Maya, or is just we go into it?
I think we can just go into adjournment.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Hey, Russ.
I'm stuck.